Hello and welcome to E-Magazine. My name is Brenda Namichaba. Now, on today's topic of discussion, we look at the growing trend of photography in the Kenyan market and try to understand the business side of it. Today, photography has become cheaper and more accessible. In fact, there are many good photographers making quality, widespread entity that is easily accessible. With that said, how can one find a connection between supply and demand in such a business and guarantee making a living out of it? Well, let's find out. But before we do that, let's take a look at this clip first. Now, welcoming my guest into studio, who is a photographer, Smith, who owns Smith Helms Photography. Welcome to Metropol Studios.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited to talk about photography. It's something a lot of people are doing right now.
Yes.
So how long have you been in this business?
I've been doing it for like 6 years, but professionally like 4 years.
4 years?
Yes.
That's great. So how did you decide, actually, what did you concentrate, what did you specialize in photography right now?
Actually, in school, I did journalism and mass communication. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to major in production. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So not too far from actually what your degree is about.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So now the kind of photography, what do you do? Is it wedding? Is it portraits? Is it event photography?
Currently, I've not yet majored in a specific field.
Okay.
So far, I'm doing fashion. I've done wedding. I'm dealing with models. I've done real estate. Yeah. Corporates. Yeah. So
you're pretty much diverse when it comes
yes.
to photography. You
yes.
have no specific niche. Are you planning? Are you deciding? Do you have plans on getting on a certain niche in photography?
Yes. With time, I'm planning to major so much into corporate and real estate.
How come? Why corporate?
It's easier to deal with.
It's easier. It's not the money. It's just easier to deal with.
Yeah, because you find that compared to like other shoots, it's so hard for a corporate partner or client to cancel a shoot. It's so easy for a model, like someone can just WhatsApp you like,
I'm not coming.
Yeah, like it's 2 p.m.
So you're guaranteed a gig when you work with corporations?
Yes.
So it's 100%. Okay. Yeah. So one thing I've not asked you, which is something I should ask you in the beginning of this interview, you being a photographer for the 6 years and the 4 years of you being professional, why do you think photography is important in today's world?
Photography is so important because right now we are in a world where there's so much competition and everyone wants everything that they're doing to be online.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's so much concentration on like what guys are doing, and so the only way to showcase it is through pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why you find that many guys in any event, any activity that's going on, you'll make sure that you take a photo and you upload it. Yeah, so that's the only way you'll find your content out there. So
there's the need to capture every moment of our lives, of the events that are happening.
Exactly.
So that's why you believe photography is important.
Yes.
And you can clearly see, like, as we keep developing as, you know, a society, as a country, the different evolutions of phones, cameras.
Yes. Yes.
Do you find competition with that? Because you tend to find in our generation now we can just take a selfie and we have an Instagram picture and we just filter it.
Yes.
As a photographer, have you ever found that as a challenge?
It's not really a challenge because you find that they're good phones. I've taken a picture with the iPhone 8 and it's almost close to my camera. I won't say it's a challenge, because you find that, especially in events, in case you're using a phone to cover the event, you won't capture like all scenes.
Okay.
You'll only use the phone to capture like your best moment. Yeah, so with the help of the camera, you're able to capture the moments that guys are not able to capture using their phones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about, about interrupting.
Yeah, then with the camera, definitely the picture will have a high resolution.
Yes.
That it can be used elsewhere besides just seeing it in the phone. It can be printed, it can be used in a billboard for a mount. Yes.
So tell me about your photography business. When did you start? How was the market when you got into it, especially in Kenya? Because I know it's not something that's new. It's been there for a while, but it's picking up now.
Yes.
So how did you decide you wanted to get into this business? How have you been performing so far?
When I decided I want to get in was when I used to look for a job in a media station. Like all media stations that I went to.
Was this after you finished uni?
Yes.
Okay.
I was not actually looking for a job, but internship. I was not able to get an internship in any media station. Yeah, so I started working on my own personal videos. So when I was producing the videos and maybe editing, I used to like take pictures. Yeah, so I take pictures, I upload, take pictures, I upload. So with time, guys started loving my work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, so because with videos, it's not easy to get clients like every time.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
But with photos, it's so easy to get clients every time. So that's when I had the urge to continue with photography, and yeah.
So it's never been something like you grew up wanting to do. It never was in your mind.
It was basically like what you love doing, but I didn't want to like do it back then. Yeah, I didn't think.
You wanted to do it as a hobby.
Yes.
Not as a full-time job.
Exactly.
So being in the business, how's your experience so far? Do you make a lot of money in photography? Do you not make a lot of money?
I can say I've grown, because when I started, I didn't have clients at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember there was a time when I opened my Facebook page. I didn't have likes, I didn't have views, I didn't have anything. So the only way I could do it was to get people to visit my page. So I remember it was like 2 weeks to Valentine's. So I had a picture of a certain couple that I had taken.
Yes. Then you posted it on Valentine's Day.
So I didn't choose to charge guys for shoots.
It used to be free
I was
work.
requesting, like for you, I can talk to you. Just come.
Yeah.
I just want to take photos of you so that I can have them on my gallery. Yeah, that's it.
It was the passion that made you.
Yes. So I had a picture of this couple that I had taken back then. So I posted it online and I said that free Valentine shoot coming up. So for you to get the free Valentine shoot, you have to like my page, share the post, you know.
That's a serious marketing strategy right there.
Yeah. I remember my page was like having 200 likes. Yeah, within that 2 weeks, I got like almost 500 likes. Guys coming in.
I understand how hard it is to get likes on Facebook, so that's a big step.
So hard, yeah. So I had to have that. It was actually a free shoot, so I was not getting anything out of it, but at least I had
the exposure.
Yeah, the exposure and guys coming in. Yeah. So that's when guys started checking out my work. Every time I used to take photos, I upload them. Take photos, I upload them. So with time, I got to understand that it's high time I start like charging guys and and making it as a business.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's when I decided to put on my rates online.
Okay.
Yeah. So with time, I realized that my job is so good, and I'm not getting paid well, so I have to go up a little bit. So I've been going up a little bit with time, so up to now.
So you've never looked back to going to look for a job in a media house ever since you started your own business in photography?
Not really.
Yes, before now I get into understanding how the pricing works in photography, I want to understand, I want you to tell me actually about your very first gig and how much money you earned at that time. The very first gig you actually earned money, not the free ones.
My very first gig, I can't say, okay, I didn't earn like.
So, and it's okay.
I was paid the transport.
And the meals.
Yes, I was paid the transport and the meals. So like the money that I was given was like 2 Gs. So you can imagine. Yeah, so like for 2 Gs, because the place I went to, there are no like local places that you can buy a soda for 50 bob and a snack for 50 bob. No. So I spent like 600 on the meal, and it was going till late. So I spent another like 750 for.
So you basically just finished your money that same night.
Yeah, so yeah, but I count it as
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least you did the job and you got paid something.
Yeah.
So now going into understanding the basics of how photography business works, how does the charging work? Like, for example, if I come to you and I want a normal portrait shoot just for, you know, a portfolio as a model, what prices do you charge?
Normally you find that in studio shoots are like 250 per picture.
Per picture? Oh, wow, okay.
So
this is unedited or edited?
Edited.
Okay.
Yeah, so for you to like secure the client and make sure that you've gotten something out of it, you'll put that 250 per photo, then minimum of 10 photos. So you know that for every person that you're handling, every client, you don't get less than 2,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the corporate shoots that you do?
That's for models and what you've mentioned.
Okay, models.
The portraits.
Models is that, okay.
Yes. For studio, I'm speaking for studio shoots, yeah. Okay. Outdoor is quite different because, you know, with studio, it's easier. If I can give an example for ladies, when you go for like makeup, you find that if you go to the salon, rather where the station is where you guys apply the makeup, it's cheaper. But if you bring you
have to pay for the
makeup,
transport.
Yeah, you have to pay for like everything.
For the cost.
Yeah, so it's more or less the same like photography. You find that if you come to the studio, it's easier, like per picture is 250, minimum 10 photos. But now if we go to the field, it's much more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, not expensive, but
it's much more expensive because now, for example, I'll have to cater for your transport to where I'm going to.
Yeah, so I'll not like directly tell you to.
That?
Yes, I'll not directly tell you to handle my transport, but I'll make sure that the price that I'm giving you, yes, everything is well taken care of.
So you mentioned that you want to specialize in corporate companies.
Yes.
How much do corporate companies, do you charge corporate companies for your photography?
For what kind of event?
So it depends on the event.
Yes, you find that there are like 2 hours meetings whereby guys want you to.
The time.
Yes,
matters.
The time matters.
Okay.
Because someone can tell you, I have a small event I want you to cover, and so you give them like 15 Gs.
Okay.
Then you end up shooting the whole afternoon and the whole night.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's like 12 hours.
Yeah. So it's very important to ask like what time frame do you need me, and
I used to think it was a myth that photographers charge per hour, but clearly hearing this, it's a whole different story.
Yes, basically it's like per hour. Yeah, because you find that some guys charge per hour like 4,500 per hour. Some guys charge like according to 6-hour event. Yeah. So for me, I normally have like, if it's a 3-hour event, 6-hour event, or like the whole night. So I find that if you are shooting like the whole night, it's much more expensive because from there you'll have to ensure that everything is secured because you might leave the place like 2 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in such situations, what exactly would you do? You just add the price? Yeah,
you make sure that your transport is included for like, to my place, I normally, from town to my place in Resamba, normally pay like 700, 600 for Uber. So I make sure that 1,000 bob for transport is catered for. And if I'm going anywhere further, I'll make sure that I estimate the exact price that I need for transport.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Are there any like networking associations in Kenya for photographers that give you clients or?
Yes.
Yeah, like what?
Okay, we have a Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a Facebook page whereby guys normally discuss topics on like photography. Some can post their job. You can maybe a recent shoot that you did, you can post it online and ask guys for their opinion. And actually, you'll find that you're the best, but the comments that you'll get out of out of those, yeah. So basically, that's a place where I normally get a lot of inspiration, because at the point where you thought that this is the best job, yeah. You can't. When you told me to send some of my photos, the job that I've done, I couldn't send some that I did last year, because by the time by last year I thought that those were the best,
but
pictures, yeah,
but this year you
right now
different.
I'm looking at them and this is not me.
So you keep improving each and every year, and you change your perspective about your own work.
So with the groups, we've had a lot of like mentoring and all that. So yeah, like me, I have a few photographers that I look up to. Yeah, as much as I might be as good as where I am right now, there are guys I'm looking up to. Yeah, when I do something and I share, they're like, when I see someone comment, it's like, good job, I know that at least I've done something, yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about Kenyan photographers getting into wedding photography, because I realize a lot of Kenyan photographers do wedding photography. Is that something you've done?
Yes.
Once or twice or more?
Okay, like main, because they're like, you have to have the wedding as a main photographer. And there's some weddings whereby a photographer gets the job and he calls me as a second shooter. Okay. Yeah, so most of the shoots that I've done as a second shooter. So far I've not yet gotten my main wedding photography. But this year I have a couple.
And why do you think a lot of Kenyan photographers like to get into wedding? Is there a lot of money in that specific area?
It depends. It depends with the clients that you have.
Really? Okay.
Yes, because there are some guys whereby they don't value weddings so much.
Yes.
So someone tells you, how much do you normally charge for? I had a client who asked, how much do you charge for like a photo shoot? Like if I'm coming with my 2-3 outfits, they told her like 5,000. And she was like, oh, so if I have one outfit, I said, no, I don't do per outfit. I do like the whole session.
The whole session.
Yeah. So she said, 5,000, right? Yeah. So I have a wedding. And she'll be having like one outfit.
Are you serious?
She wants me to cover it with 5,000. And I told her like, no, it's not possible.
Why do you think this?
It's different.
Why do you think a lot of Kenyans, or is the culture in our country that they don't see the value in photographers when it comes to weddings?
I'll say some.
Yeah,
some
not everyone.
Yeah, some don't see the value. Some see the value. It's always a bit hard to gauge some clients, because you find that some clients you'll give them your quote and they're like, oh, are you comfortable with that? So they feel like it's still low. It's still low. Yeah, okay. Like you should be earning more out of that. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of work you put in it, from taking the pictures, from editing it.
Yeah.
You even framed some pictures for weddings, right?
So with weddings, what you can do while putting up your quotation, you have to include the friends, the printed photos, the online photos, like, because it will cost you so much. It will cost you so much to put them up. Okay. Yeah.
So tell me, when was the first time you bought your first camera?
2015.
2015.
Yes.
Did you upgrade?
It was the first and the best.
The first and the best.
Yes.
So how much, for example, how much does a camera go for? For someone who's trying to get into this industry, like how much should someone budget for a good camera that's going to give them good quality pictures, that will make clients happy and just simply produce good work?
It depends on what you're targeting. For starters, you can find a camera for 30,000.
But that's like second hand. Or
no,
that's a new one?
like starters, like the basic camera.
The
like,
basic
yeah.
DSLR? Or
yeah, it's not really that professional, but
it's a small
basic.
one. Okay,
yes,
okay.
30 to 40.
Okay.
So for professional photographers, a camera goes for 250,000.
Wow. That's just the camera with the lens?
The body only.
The body only. What about a lens?
Lenses range from 10,000 to 1 million.
So that's some serious investments.
Yes. So we have lenses as low, like the one I was having. Yeah, it's like the 50 millimeters lens. You can get it for 8,000, for 9,000 or 10,000. There are some lenses. Then it depends with the performance. So with the lens that I'm having, it's like for 8 Gs. There's an upgrade of that. It's like 50, but it's the same, like 50. Yeah. So there's it varies again with the distance. Like yeah. So you can find a lens going for like 200,000. Okay. Yeah.
And so when you were buying your equipment, is it something you had planned ahead of time, or you just went to the shop and you're just like, I'm gonna get this, I know it's gonna be a good investment? Planned ahead of time.
Yeah, it was planned. Yeah.
So what? Okay, keep going.
Yeah, it was planned.
Yeah. So what kind of advice would you want to give someone who's trying to get into this business?
You can start on a low level, because it's so bad for someone to invest like 200,000 in a camera, then you end up not having
the value, getting the money back.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's tough to get.
Yeah, it's like if you want to start a car hire business. For one car you'll need like 700,000.
Yes.
So for like 10 cars, you need like 7 million. So you can't just buy 10 cars at once and you don't have your market set right.
Okay.
So for starters, it's more advisable to start with a small camera.
Yes.
There's another option of hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you find that...
Okay, so you can hire cameras.
Yes. You find that if you are really good and you know how to handle like big cameras, you can hire. It depends with the job that you got in. So there's some jobs whereby you've been paid like 15 Gs and you don't have a camera. So you can hire a camera for like 3, 4, 5 Gs with the lenses. Then you take up the shoot, so you have like 10 Gs to put in your pocket. So with hiring again, it's so addictive.
Yes.
Then you'll realize that
you spend a lot of money on it.
Spending a lot of money on it. Yeah, so it's advisable, like if you decide to hire, like let's say if you're hiring like a camera for 5 Gs, make sure that out of the job that you're putting up, you have like another 5 Gs to save. Yeah, so as you're hiring the camera, you're saving something.
Yes.
Yeah, so for me right now, I don't have like everything.
Yeah.
It depends with the job that I'm getting, especially for real estate. I recently got a contract from a France-based company, Miro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they normally have photographers all over the world. They have like 40,000 photographers.
Wow.
All over the world. So they normally get jobs from Uber, Just Eat, from different companies. So if they have like a job in Kenya, Airbnb, you know it?
Yes, I know Airbnb in Kenya.
So if they have like a job that they need to do in Kenya, so they call the guys in France, then the guys in France outsource for the, so I applied, I saw it online on Instagram. Yeah, so I applied and I was lucky to be chosen. And I was given, it's like an examination, like a test, like go and shoot a real estate of your choice, then send us the photos.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
so luckily there's a certain real estate that I've shot before. So I got the contact of the guy that's managing the place. So I talked to him and he was like, yeah, sure, you can just take photos as long as you don't take them online for business purposes. And I did the job and I sent the photos according to their specifications. The best part is that you send raw photos.
Yes, you don't have to edit. You don't have to go through
just go and take the photos, then send them to them. So once they receive the photos, they pay you.
Okay.
If the shoot has been cancelled like 24 hours to the shoot, you'll be compensated like 100%, like you did the shoot.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
well, I want to know more of this, but I want to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, Smith and I will get into more conversation about photography. Welcome back to E-Magazine. Now, before we took a short commercial break, we were discussing what it means to be in the business of photography, the things that entail to be a good photographer in Kenya's market. And right here, Smith, photographer in this market, was just explaining to me the expenses in this business and just simply what it takes to be a photographer in Kenya, since it's a competitive market. Now, I wanted to get more into talking about marketing of photography. You as a photographer, how do you market yourself out there?
Social media, but I'll say it's not guaranteed.
How come?
I normally receive like 2 or 3 messages daily, guys asking about the rates.
Okay.
Yes. So
just
like
to ask about the rates.
Yes. So like not everyone that's texting you online needs a job, but with referrals.
Referrals.
Yes.
Okay.
Like 100%.
So you'd say 100% you get more jobs from referrals than on social media? Yeah,
like it's for referrals, it's like 100%. Every client I've been referred to, they normally accept me for their job.
Okay.
Like but for social media, I'll say like out of 10 people that ask for your rates, 2 or 3 people
get it.
Give you
okay.
the job.
And what do you think? It's because social media, there's a lot of competition, because that's one of the major platforms. Like for Instagram, that's like one of the major platforms.
Yes.
A lot of photographers use it for. So you think that's one of the major reasons?
There's a lot of competition, but then again, if someone loves your work, you'll definitely get the job. Yeah.
Great. You know, one thing I thought Instagram is built for photographers. You know, it's not the selfies you take.
Exactly. Instagram initially was built for
photography.
And for me, it's normally my habit. Like if I scroll down my Instagram and I see a bad photo, I just unfollow. Yeah.
Okay,
so like every photo that's running on my timeline has to be a good photo, because if you see like for Instagram and like Facebook,
it's fast impressions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because with Instagram, like the photo takes up the 80% of the page, and the caption like just 10%.
10%.
Yeah. So like with Instagram, it's photos.
I have to agree. I'm guilty of that, because when I'm looking for photographers, because I do like photography, I judge a photographer by their Instagram. So the first thing when I meet a photographer, like I'm like, give me your Instagram, I need to check out your work. But you also do blogs, or?
No, not yet.
No. Okay.
I started, but time.
I get you. Do you think having a blog as a photographer, especially in the Kenyan market, is big? Do you think a lot of Kenyans actually access these blogs?
Not really, because for me, most photographers that I look up to, it's so rare for me to check up
their blogs.
Like maybe once the first page and I go back.
And you're done.
Yeah, like I don't have time to go through everything, because everything that's there, I can get them on his page. Okay. Yeah.
Now, with the Kenyan photography scene being so competitive, what do you do to make yourself stand out from the rest? What makes you different from me picking a different photographer to get my portfolios from? How do you achieve that?
Well, I'll just say that because lately, especially this year, I've had like a slogan telling guys, I'm the only guy who'll give you like clean shots.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
so you need to have a marketing strategy for your work.
Yeah, so like every time I post anything online, I'm like, your clean shots. So you find that with most guys, especially I work with a lot of fashion models and guys marketing their outfits and products.
Yeah.
So you find that for other photographers, guys normally change like the photo. You find that if I take a photo of you, during editing I'll do everything to make sure that the photo stands out, but I end up affecting the skin tone.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me I normally ensure that I maintain the skin tone and make sure that my photos come out like real. Like so I remember some clients that I've had lately, they're always like, oh, your photos are real, like so I normally ensure that all my photos come out real. They're not like fake and
Now, before you mentioned that you don't really specialize in a certain area, you like to be diverse.
Yes.
Is it because you think specializing in a certain area in photography is like a hindrance in your work? It limits you to just being a fashion photographer, or?
For me, now that I've not yet established like, the common ground that I should major in so much, and I've not yet had like most clients so that I can rely on one field. So it's a bit hard on my side.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and a bit easier on someone who's been in the field in like
for a long time and they have the network. So for you, it's more like whatever the client is coming from, I'll take the gig.
Yes,
so
you find that there's some photographers that have been there for so long. So they've majored in weddings only.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's easier for them to get like 2 or 3 weddings in a month. Yeah. Compared to someone who just started like
the other day.
The other day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for someone who's been in this industry for a long time, how much can a photographer earn in a year?
So much, like millions.
Millions?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Millions?
Yes, because one, let me bring it out in like someone who's so much experienced and a starter.
Yes.
So for this guy, he'll do like a minimum of 2 weddings or 1 wedding per month.
Per month.
12 months, like 100K.
And photographers charge like, pardon me, 100,000 Kenyan shillings for a whole wedding shoot.
Yes.
That is a lot of money.
Yes, some 2, some 300,000.
Depending on their expertise and experience in that field.
Yes. So you'll find that on weddings alone, someone can earn like 2 million.
Yes.
In a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a money. So clearly, this is somewhere, if you understand the aspects and the business aspects of photography very well, you can actually become a millionaire.
Yes, yes. Then for like beginners, it's so hard because first the type of clients that you're handling. Yeah. Because you might be having like 10 models per month. Then each model is paying you like 2,000. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's difficult.
Yeah, it's so difficult. So you'll find that for this guy to get so much money by the end of the year, it will be, because for the 2,000 that you're getting, it's like you'll spend it like within the day. Like, yeah, it's not money that you can count on, like save. Yes. Yeah, let me save. Yeah, because you'll end up with nothing.
So do you guarantee to have downfalls? Like in a month you don't get a shoot? That's guaranteed. Have you experienced that, or you only experienced that during your beginning?
This year, no. Last year, no. No. Yes. So.
But it takes time before you get to that level, doesn't it?
Yes, yes, it takes time. Because I have a few friends who are normally like, where are you getting these jobs from? I'm like, yeah, I studied somewhere. So yeah, there was a time I used to stay in the house like the whole week, like waiting doing nothing. Yeah, like doing nothing. There was a time I didn't have like anything at all to do. I was making the bracelets and
really,
yeah. So you can imagine.
Still do that?
No. So you can imagine the time that
you had.
I had for that. So I had so much time, and you're making bid by bid. So I was so idle.
So I want you to rank for me, especially focusing on the Kenyan market, which areas you would make more money as a Kenyan photographer. Is it fashion? Is it weddings? Is it events? Just give me 3, ranking from the most that you'll make money from.
3, weddings.
Weddings is number 1?
No.
It's number 3?
Yes. Corporates.
Number 2.
Then products.
Products. Oh yes, we haven't talked about products. So products such as...
especially for companies that are so well established. Yeah, you find that starting companies, they don't value the photography bit so much. For a product shoot, someone can earn like 700,000 in a single shoot. Just
to take a picture of a TV.
Yeah, just taking a picture and in different angles and trying out different concepts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before
you can earn so much on products.
And you've done that?
Yes.
Wow. I think I should become your best friend after this interview.
But I've worked with Hotpoint.
Okay.
Hotpoint Kenya, and that was my first company to give me a product. Okay, not first, but I've had Huda Cosmetics before, but they were small products.
Small products.
Yeah. So for Hotpoint, I was given very huge products. You can imagine shooting a whole refrigerator.
Wow.
And a cooker.
And you know, this is something a lot of people don't think about. Like, I would not think Kenyan photographers actually take pictures of products. You know, it's very much hidden. People don't talk about it as much.
On the photos that I sent you.
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah.
I think I even put one, so they're probably airing right now.
Yeah.
Now, before I wrap up of our interview, I wanted to just ask you 2 questions just to test your photography skills and just see if you're lying to us, you're a good photographer or not. So the first question is very easy. What does ISO refer to in photography?
ISO refers to the light sensitivity.
Okay.
So that's where you'll have to set your camera to the minimum ISO to ensure that you get the sharpest image.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
The challenge of setting your camera to a minimum ISO is that you'll have very minimal light. So you have to have external light to ensure that your subject is well lit. So if you don't have any light at all, you can have a higher ISO.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm the one asking the questions, but you're educating me, right? I have to check if your answer is right before maybe you're lying to me over here.
The disadvantage of having your ISO so high is you'll have grains on your image. So if you've seen most images whereby it's not so sharp, it's having dots, some grains, like someone spill sand on.
Wow.
Yeah. So
now one last question before we wrap up. What does white balance refer to in photography?
White balance refers to, it's basically simple, like how your image brings out the correct color in terms of the color temperature. Yeah.
And you're right. You are not lying to us. You are really a photographer. Well, that's it with my interview with Smith. Thank you so much for joining me on Metropol Studios. Well, you had it right here on Metropol TV with Smith about photography. It's a booming business in Kenya, but make sure you understand it and you know which area you want to specialize in. Now, let's take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the event diary. Welcome back to E-Magazine. Now it is time for the exciting part where we take a look at the event diary, where we are looking at what's happening this week. And today, I'm really excited to share with you this, guys. So today, on Friday, 5th April, which is today at 5 p.m., right after my show, Good Vibes Friday with DJ Creme Della Creme is happening at Tasker Lights Kaiba. So make sure if you're into a party scene, you take a look at that. That's happening today. Also on, this actually happened yesterday and it's going on till Sunday. Now, if you're a person who's into getting fit and running, there's Get Fit fair that's happening at Westgate Shopping Mall. So make sure you take a look at that. Also on the event diary, there is a Red Splash Festival. So if you're into that exciting, you know, food refreshments and, you know, you want to buy stuff, this is happening today actually. It happened today at 9 a.m. at the Kenyatta National Hospital. So I do hope a lot of you went for that because it was a way of saving, donating blood. So now moving on, we have the Art Fest, and that's happening this Sunday. So, and this is the 5th edition. So people who are into art, this is something you should do because there are going to be a lot of art exhibitions, and I think I'm going to check it out too. The entrance is 1,000, and this is happening at the Hub at Karen. So this must be really exciting because art is something that's happening a lot in Kenya. Moving on to the next event, we have the wine extravaganza. So if you're a wine lover, make sure you check this out. The wine and beer tasting, which is happening tomorrow from 11 a.m. and it's free entry, guys. It's free entry. So you can't miss this. Who doesn't want free wine? This is happening at Laleshwa Gateway. So make sure you check it out for more details on Laleshwa website. Now moving on to the next event, it's called Because You Said So. So if you're into theater and film, and just simply watching live acting, make sure you check this out. It's happening tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the Junction Mall. And it looks pretty exciting. So make sure you have a look at that. The show starts at 6, ends at around 2 p.m. Let's go back to that, sorry. Yeah, the show starts at 6 and it's happening at the Junction Mall. It looks really exciting. As you can see over here, there are a lot of sponsors right here, so it looks like something legit. So make sure you take a look at that if you're interested in theater. Now moving on to the next event, which is a bit more for the guys who are into comedy. It's Nairobi Saturday Night Comedy happening tomorrow, and it is from 7 p.m. So the location is at the Blues Restaurant. So if you're into some laughing and some jokes and you want to check that out, go to the Blues Restaurant. It's going to be comedy night, and first impressions matter clearly. Now moving on to our last event on the event diary, we have Nairobi Afro-Latin Social. So if you're into some salsa, bachata, some cha-cha, and you want to dance and act like you're in some Latino vibes, make sure you go for this. It is happening at 5 p.m. at Tusker Light Sky Bar. And there's a dress code, guys. And I know Kenya's never follow dress code, so make sure you do. The entrance is 500 Kenyan shillings. And as it mentions over here, the dress code is stripe out. So if you don't have stripe out outfits, make sure you go purchase some right now, because I'm pretty sure if you don't, you're going to be frozen at the entrance. Now the dance floor is open from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. So don't take yourself there at 5 p.m. guys. They won't open for you. And in order to get advance tickets at 1,000, and at the door it's 1,500, quite affordable. So make sure you do check it out and make your Saturday and Sunday exciting. Don't stay in the house and be boring. Make sure you check out these events and make your weekend a little bit exciting. Now we're done with the event diary. We're going to move on and check out the stories that made it on our entertainment news.